as is our practice, beginning at the beginning, I stop before I start and take a pausing breath so that I have lots of energy to be able to say, Happy mid-April, beautiful people. I am Reverend Vicky Jeter, your minister for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. Thank you for being with us on this April the 12th of 2026. We welcome all paths to God. We welcome your challenges and your questions. All pieces and paths of spirit, all areas of life, and all parts of ourselves are essential to a world that works for all. So whether you're here with us for the first time, whether you've been with us since the very beginning, whether you're watching us on our YouTube channel, thank you for being with us because you are why we're here. I am feeling so blessed to be able to be with you all today. In the week between last Sunday's Easter service and today, many beautiful things have occurred that I have hoped to be able to impart to you all. Some of it extends from last week's service. Some of it comes from the fact that we had Reverend Patrick Harbula to teach Module 4 of the class, the Journey of the Soul class. That was awesomeness on steroids. That man is an angel. And so on an ongoing basis, I'll be sharing pieces about that, as well as hopefully some today. And some of it comes from an unexpected opportunity yesterday to spend time Saturday afternoon, 3 hours with Karen Drucker in a woman's workshop that she designed on Zoom and offered to women all over the New Thought community. And so many powerful ideas have come from all these influences that speak to this month's theme. This month's theme is the practice of becoming. And today's topic off of that theme is living with presence and deep awareness. So if I don't get to share them all with you today, just know that they'll be coming along, and I will certainly be sharing them over time. A primary quality underlying our capacity to live with presence is vulnerability. And we're going to be highlighting vulnerability in the sacred reading and meditation by Tammy this morning. And so I just invite you, just kind of soften the ground. You know, as you hear these different things, prepare thyself to receive. Taking all of this into our opening prayer on an ongoing basis, let us wrap our intentions around everyone in the world for whom what we are right now is an awesome model for what so many are seeking. Just breathing into being with them for a moment. Let us offer the world who is seeking what we have here, our presence. As we show up with community and with compassion and with our love for each other and our ability to see the light in each other's eyes and surround each other with virtual hugs. Oh my goodness, so many in the world are seeking a virtual hug right now. And in this atmosphere, I recognize the one life, the one love, the one infinite presence that is emerging as all existence, what we understand and what we don't understand equally. It is one. And as the one is all, that one is all I am. As the one is all, that is all each entity within the sound of my voice is. The entity of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living collectively is one with the one in mind, heart, and soul. And from this alignment, I realize here and now in this moment that Louisville Center for Spiritual Living and all that LCSL does is a work of the divine, Thus, I trust that this word is the word of the divine. I trust that those receiving are guided, guarded, directed, and protected by the divine at the level where spirit is meeting each one. And for this knowing and for knowing that we have been invited into this opportunity to more deeply practice presence together. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. I just released it with the heart of a child. I let it be, and so it is. And this brings us to a brand new opening song that I discovered this week, Pray by Denise Rosier.
Something stirs in my soul when I pray. Soft as a whisper it calls, come away. Centered in a sacred space, Spirit meets me face to face, and I'm welcome every day. Every day. Everything falls into place when I pray. The doors of my heart open wide, unafraid. The power as my knees hit the floor, lifting me higher than I was before. And I am changed when I pray. Out of me when I pray, like a choir breaking free, just like rain. Something stirs in my soul when I pray.
My goodness, I always love hearing Denise Rosier's voice. Such a beautiful new song. And now we're going to have our announcements. Men's group will be, it's the first and second Thursdays of the month. So that'll be this Thursday, April 16th. And that's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this same Zoom link. You're very welcome to join. I know my husband and other guys have said they really enjoy the fellowship. It is my delight to say that Reverend Carolyn Harville will be our speaker next Sunday, April 19th. And her theme is Listening Beyond the Noise of the World. I'm going to turn this to you, Reverend Vicky.
So our first financial update of this month. Notice that our actual budget shown officially for April, a little higher than normal. Normal is right at $2,550. The additional that we're planning for this month is because the class fees that are for class certification and for the instructor and the assistant will actually be paid out when the class is over, which is on April the 22nd. So that brings us to a projected income to flow in of $3,257.50. Between the 1st of April and the 11th of April, we have received $992.87. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so ideally, between now and the 30th of April, we're calling to receive $2,264.63. And that blue note in there is all about explaining how it is that the budget is higher for this month. And we do still have $3,000.13 in savings. Praise God. We want to see that multiplying. I just love the little 13 cents on the end because that tends to multiply by 3 most months, and it's just kind of fun to watch. Eventually, that will roll over to $3,001. And hopefully by then we will be actually adding to our savings because our abundance has just multiplied. Thank you, everyone who participates in this process, because we are achieving financial stability, which ensures that we will continue to be able to be here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, and this brings us to, it's been a while since you guys have seen the unexpected income thermometers, but this week we did receive on the community side, one of you received $900 of unexpected income and tithed 90. So we are now at, for the year, $3,320 extra dollars received by you all. Praise God. And we have received $333.50, which that's just awesome because, watching how these numbers work, that is one representation in the quantum field. Vernon and I cannot tell you how many 333s we have seen in the last 10 days. It has been phenomenal watching those numbers. So thank you, everyone, for that. And always remember, watch for your unexpected income. Court that, because Spirit loves places to play, and that's one way that we do it.
After service and after the benediction, we hope that you'll join us for sharing time after the service for some fellowship together.
And this takes us to the declarations portion of our service. Our first declaration to say together is our purpose. The purpose of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is to be a vital hub of beloved community. We learn and practice care and creativity for the gift of life as vessels of oneness, a synergy of spirit, soul, mind, and body for all beings. And our mission and vision off of our purpose is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God, which manifests our vision of a world that honors and respects all people. And for today, the practical application of what we believe, try this one on. The purpose of experience isn't to escape life, it is to live it. And with that, it is my privilege and my pleasure to turn this over to Miss Tammy Ellis for that sacred reading and meditation.
It is my honor to be your practitioner of the week. And for the sacred reading today, it was chosen from the book called The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty. Part of our themes for this month, besides being fully present, is about being willing to be vulnerable. So her reading is called Being Vulnerable. Part of growth in life means learning to share ourselves with other people. We learn to admit our mistakes and expose our imperfections, not so that others can fix us, rescue us, or feel sorry for us, but so we can love and accept ourselves. This sharing is a catalyst in healing and changing. Many of us are fearful of sharing our imperfections because that makes us vulnerable. Some of us have tried being vulnerable in the past, and people tried to control, manipulate, or exploit us, or we may have felt ashamed. Some of us in our recovery have hurt others by being vulnerable. We may have shared things with people who didn't respect our confidence, or we may have told the wrong people at the wrong time and scared them away. We learn from our mistakes, and despite our mistakes, it is still a good thing to allow ourselves to be vulnerable and honest. We can learn to choose safe people with whom to share ourselves, who we truly are. We can learn to share appropriately so we don't scare or push people away. We can also learn to let others be vulnerable with us. Today, Divine Source, help me to learn to be appropriately vulnerable. I will not let others exploit or shame me for being vulnerable. I know this is healthy. And now, as we move to the meditation, I just encourage you to take a few deep breaths in. Just contemplate a little bit about anything in the reading that was moved to your heart or your mind for your own daily living. The meditation is from the Guide for Spiritual Living for Centers for Spiritual Living, the monthly magazine for this month, April. And these are some statements that Jeffon Seeley wrote. And so these are for your contemplation about your daily life and how you would like to live it with being more fully present. I see, embrace, and align with God in this moment. Love is here. Take a nice deep breath in and release. I see, embrace, and align with Divine Source in this moment. Love is here. I empower my thoughts and can give rise to any thought I desire. I think in alignment with my wholeness, my godness, my true self. Nice deep breath in and release. I empower my thoughts and can give rise to any thought I desire. I think in alignment with my wholeness, my godness, my true self. I am a powerful and valuable light in this world. Take a nice deep breath in and release. I am willing to be the powerful and valuable light in the world. I am filled with compassion, and that compassion fuels peace around me and in the world. Today, I share this compassion within my heart, this compassion and peace with the world. Taking a nice deep breath in and release. I am filled with compassion, and that compassion fuels peace within me and all around me. Today, I share this compassion and peace with the world. I trust the inner guidance within me. Nice deep breath in and release. I trust the inner guidance within me. I receive daily guidance, direction, and empowerment from Source. I move with grace and gratitude as I'm willing to be fully present. Nice deep breath in and release. I receive daily guidance, direction, and empowerment from Divine Source. I move with grace and gratitude as I am fully present daily. I invite you to take another nice deep breath in as you contemplate what you would like to take with you as a takeaway from the reading or meditation today. You like to just move your toes and your fingertips, maybe move your shoulders and stretch a little bit. And when you're ready, if you like to open your eyes, if you had them closed. And one last nice deep breath in and release. And so it is.
Go right past that. Symbolically, life is showing us what we're doing here and how it works all the time. And that piece and the way it was played is one way to think of the microcosm and the macrocosm if we realize noticing every single note, every single player in that orchestra is necessary to the experience that we just had. I don't know if you all might have noticed a couple of my very favorite parts of watching that is the guy that was holding the little teeny like cowbell, you know, and just ticking it so precisely. And then did you notice the um he had the guy that had like the xylophone, you know, and you think, well, he's just playing it like regular, but then every time he stopped, he so carefully like swept the notes to make sure that they didn't go too far, and then stilled the board before he played again. It's like, oh my goodness, the preciousness of that just knocks me out every time. And our opportunity is to realize that this is what Spirit's doing all the time when we ask ourselves, how in the world does Spirit manage all the different levels and layers of life and all the different things that we can't even conceive of that are going on within our own bodies, within the springtime emerging around us, within all the people around us right now? They're all different parts of the orchestra, and at different levels, there's different orchestras going on that make it all happen. And the thing to realize, as a microcosm of the macrocosm, you are your own orchestra conductor, and your own life has all of these pieces of the orchestra that have their potentials going on. And I believe that as we commune with the level of presence that honors that as co-creators with Spirit, we have been offered the gift of how to do that, how to take the potentials of the orchestra that we've been given, or if music doesn't so much work for you, certainly the palette of colors applies. You know, when we have asked ourselves, um, according to the Rees brothers, you know, what piece of our masterpiece will we be painting today? It's the same kind of thing. You have a palette of colors and you get to choose. You have a blank slate and you get to choose what colors to use or what notes to play, kind of thing, and how to conduct them in such a way that they're working together instead of working against each other. And so with that in mind, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to increase our ability to live with the kind of presence that does put us consciously at the center of our universe and giving us our ability to orchestrate it. And in that note, I'm going to lean back to a previous week, because so much of it has to do with how we engage the concept of our creativity. You know, how do we think of it in mind, and then how do we apply it at heart? Using imagination and creativity to believe that anything is possible is a way of life. And when we engage, that comes out of being a possibilitarian. So if you think of yourself as a possibilitarian and you practice imagining you're in your internal world, however that outplays for you, because I realize some people aren't visual, but if you imagine that your capacity to work with spirit as a co-creator is at the center of all of these potentials, and then you say to yourself, so how do I choose to orchestrate today? What is mine to do? What is mine to learn? And so looking at what it means to practice presence. Okay, how do we practice being more present? And this is where um, we've heard a lot of people talk about how important it is to be a good listener. Like if we can really totally be present to someone that we're with and really just listen, how valuable that is in how someone receives the space that we're holding for them. And in the same kind of way, people want to be seen. We want to be seen, and the people we're in relationship with, they want to be seen. And when we succeed at that, when we can settle ourselves enough to truly see someone beyond the appearances, truly hear what they're saying, because we have listened beyond just the words being said, then that is a measure of practicing presence. And doing that has to do with not just paying attention with our senses, but being settled enough inside to trust the process of our connection with spirit and soul, and then connecting with the world around us with that spirit and soul that goes beyond our senses, so that the origination of where we're coming from is from within, and we're using our senses then not to just take in the world, but to bring our light of the world to wherever we are, and our senses then help us to express that. And so just a couple of examples. This occurred just the other day, and it happens every once in a while, but I think you guys might have heard me say that my main office is actually in one corner of our main living area, and we have a roommate, and so he has space out there, and different things are going on all the time because it's the main living area. Well, um, I have it set up to where if I happen to be talking to somebody, whoever's speaking is not heard, and everybody knows that I need sacred space. So people that I'm talking with can't be heard, and it's there's a confidentiality there. But sometimes Vernon will need to walk through, and so he comes out of this room and walks down this little hallway, and he's walking maybe 6 inches or a foot from me, and I don't even see him, because I am so in the zone of whoever I'm with, if I'm on a Zoom or on a call. And then I get done and I go to call him or something, and he's gone. And I'm like, well, where'd he go? And then he says, oh, well, you were just, you didn't even see or hear me because you were so into what you were doing. And then another example that we've used so many times but applies in so many ways is when you are being creative, or when you're playing a game like a sport or something, and you get into what is called the zone, and suddenly there isn't anything else but you and the basketball, or you and your knitting needle, or whatever you're doing, and you're so into the rhythm and the harmony of what you're doing that everything else falls away. And that is a measure of what can be called full presence. And spirit loves when we're able to get into that space, because then anything becomes possible through these physical bodies that we have, but we're not being caught up in the everyday, kinds of things that we so often let ourselves get caught up in and distracted by. So, what are some of the detractors to presence? What are some of the things that keep us from being present? Now, I'm sure this is one of those things we could go around the room and all kinds of different things would come up as far as what distracts you from being able to be fully present and fully centered, like in the middle of your orchestra, and really orchestrating your life the way you would prefer. This is where one of the things that comes up is how we're impacted by vulnerability. Because if you think about it, in that example that I just gave, where I was suggesting that I can get so into a zone when I'm working with someone that Vernon can pass me right up within 6 inches and I don't even know he was there. If that wasn't Vernon, there could be a sense of vulnerability there. It's like, how can we get so into a zone that we don't even know really what's going on around us? And for people who have been encultured, like from childhood into, I know this is a term most of you have heard before, some people um, learned hypervigilance because you had to know what was going to be happening next if you wanted to feel safe enough or do whatever you thought you were going to need to do. And you become so vigilant to what's going on around you out of a need for protection that it's called hypervigilance, like you stay that kind of aware all the time. Well, it's pretty difficult to get into the zone of being present to something or someone if you also think you need to be monitoring what's going on around you all the time out of a sense of need for protection. And so um, if you start to become aware that one of the things that makes me not as present, like I get distracted really easily because I need to know what's going on around me, then one of the things to do with that is with compassion to notice, stop, and ask yourself in those moments, what would I have needed to feel safer? Here in this apartment with the people that I live with, I can get into the zone anytime because I know this is a completely safe space. And so it can really become one way to begin to notice where does my life, where does my atmosphere call for additional safety so that I can be so vulnerable. Like in Tammy's reading where she was saying, you know, if you don't have safe enough atmospheres, invite yourself into safer atmospheres. Find out where you feel safer so that you can do that. And then the other thing that just came up, this came out of the Karen Drucker workshop yesterday, which is so awesome. But she mentioned that one of the things that distracts her from being completely present is clutter. If she comes into a space and um, everybody knows what clutter looks and feels like, but I don't know how often we've stopped to realize that when we're in a cluttered environment and we're not comfortable with it, it can cause us to be distracted. It can make us feel energetically hemmed in. Now, sometimes if a person is completely comfortable with clutter and they actually feel more creative or more whatever, surrounded by their stuff, it doesn't have to be this kind of distracting. I have noticed there's certain levels of clutter that actually inspire me. And then there's other levels of clutter where I either try to not look at it, or if I do look at it, I have to address it because it's going to bother me. Okay. And so that's just some things to think about, because this is the thing about practicing greater presence. It is a part of becoming, like to our next level, like the theme for the month. How does this relate to the idea of the practice of becoming? Well, when we are adept at being more present to our current moment, Spirit can usher us through the power of now into the next potential and the next opportunity so much more easily. It can happen anyway because Spirit's going to evolve through us no matter who we are or what we're doing. That's the nature of Spirit. That's what Spirit does. Spirit is always reaching for the next level of the greater good. But when we are seeking, when we are consciously practicing about how to make more of all of this, Spirit can just show up and just carry it, tenfold. And so, when we were talking about this yesterday, Karen Drucker asked, and so I'm going to pass this along to you. Just close your eyes and imagine for a moment. If there were no blocks in your life today of any kind, not resourcing, not your health, if you had no blocks and Spirit delivered you unto this playground with nothing restraining you, what would you be doing? Just give yourself an opportunity to be completely set free inside and ask yourself, if I can do anything at all and I have no blocks of any kind, what would I do with this life, with this day, with this moment? Now, this brings me to revisiting some of what we talked about for our Easter Sunday, because uh, I am really getting on board with the idea that every challenge we do have is an opportunity to clear more of our internal field and allow increasingly more of divine spirit to drop in and work through us. And I have been trying this out, and I wouldn't be saying this with such conviction if I didn't have a real sense that this is universal. And so long as someone is available to approaching it this way, it would apply to just about everyone on the planet. And that is, I'm glad Reverend Caroline's here today, because one of the things that she and I have supported together within this community is that when we do expand our consciousness and more good comes into our life, very often the next thing that happens is whatever was holding that down to begin with will jump up, like a little piece of ego trying to fight for its life will say, oh yeah, well, what about this? The car breaks down, or Vernon had a heck of a day yesterday and has woken up this morning not feeling so good. And the first thing we said is, that looks like a little bit of pushback. And so what I'm realizing now from what I'm learning from Adyashanti is all of our challenges are a little bit of pushback from spirit. And in the spiritual classroom, that's about practicing as the Christ did, that no matter what the challenge is, we stand firm in the truth that we are an expression of pure spirit. And just like we do when there's pushback, I have encouraged everybody to say, just stand there and look at the thing and say, I see you, but I'm not buying it. I'm not going down that bunny trail. I'm going to stand in my next greater good, and you can just stand down. And most often, unless there's something more going on, that's what happens. If we'll stand before the challenge and say, no, like applying the golden key, there is only one life, and that life is spirit. That life is my life now, right? And the thing is, when we do that, we clear the clutter, the internal clutter, the energetic clutter. We stand in the truth. And more often that we do that, and we don't buy that the challenge is real, like it's holding us down, and, oh, I can't shine my light until this is fixed, then that's what proves itself out. And so I'm just saying, as much as you can, imagine. It's not about denying what you're going through, and it's not about not feeling your feelings. You do all those things, but inside yourself, you're practicing coming back to that center like the orchestra conductor and saying, no, I am that I am. This is happening, but I'm not identifying with it. I'm identifying that I am a beloved child of the One, and that oneness is moving in as and through me right now. And so the last thing that I would like to offer you is Karen did just a fantastic, lovely thing yesterday where she invited us to a very compassionate body orientation. And she asked this question earlier on in the workshop, but then I thought, oh my goodness, how important this is to the last thing that she did. She said, check in with your body and see where you have been holding any of the craziness that's been going on. And all of us relate to the craziness that's been going on in the world in a little bit different way, but we all know it's impacting all of us. So just for yourself, just check in, do a quick little body scan, and ask your body, where, if anywhere, have I been holding the things that I have looked at in the world and just shaken my head and said, this just loses me? What is this? Where might we have been holding those questions and that tension in the body? And then at the end of the workshop, she said, every day, as a measure of compassion and getting through this with a foundation of physical health, give yourself some loving touch. And she took her hands and she put them to her cheeks and she just did like this. Just some loving touch. And the things that I know is orienting to your hands, because and actually the bottoms of your feet. We all know how good it feels to have somebody rub our feet. Well, doing that consciously, recognizing that our hands and our feet have the most sensitive nerve endings that there are. There's some other body parts that do as well, but our hands and feet do, because they need to be aware of what's going on around. So they're very, very sensitive. And if you touch them compassionately, like gently rub your fingers together or take and tickle your palm, it's just so gentle and so loving. And then the last one that I'm aware of is when you give yourself a hug, practice giving yourself maybe some more hugs. And when you have your hands around your arms like this, just stroke a little bit. I see Heidi knows about this, and some others of you do as well. Just a reminder to give ourselves that physical sense of love. It is profoundly valuable to the nervous system. And with that, I will invite us on that feeling, in that atmosphere, to do our closing treatment. Take a moment for yourselves. Breathe that pausing breath. Drop within. Imagine yourself the conductor of your internal orchestra. And remember what beautiful Denise has declared for us this morning. I pray. I pray knowing there is one life, one love, one infinite harmony that is expressing perfectly according to divine right timing, divine right action, regardless of appearances. One life, one love that is my life now. Mind, heart, and soul. And from this alignment, I realize the fulfillment of every desire, every awakening, every declaration made here within this space, in, as, and through each individual, that the demonstration be made evident in experience. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God. I release it, I let it be, and so it is.
You, Reverend Vicky, for such an inspirational message. Oh my goodness. Just take 10 more deep breaths to pull it in. And now for our prosperity affirmation and giving time. Your love and support are so appreciated to keep our community thriving and growing. We gratefully accept your credit card, debit card, and you'll see the copy in the chat with PayPal and Zelle online. Or you're welcome to mail your check to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, P.O. Box 43958, Louisville, Kentucky 40253. And our April prosperity affirmation, if you'd like to say this out loud wherever you are or in your heart. I am a persistent and prosperous. I am persistent and prosperous, life-affirming vessel of spirit. And I pass the blessing to Reverend Vicky for the offering.
And the basket liked it, especially when Tammy ran past that first part twice. Yes, indeed. Just like a little being dancing up and down. I am a persistent and prosperous, life-affirming vessel of spirit, just receiving all of this energy and giving it back out to all who are seeking to find their way, and bringing it back again tenfold. to all of you and to our community as a whole. Blessings be, and so it is.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Reverend Vicky, for putting this beautiful, magnificent picture. This is the Artemis 2 mission here lately, this year, 2026, just lately. And this is the astronauts seeing on the other side of the moon. They're looking toward Earth. So this is Earth rising over the moon. So let's say together on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, we are magnificent. Please enjoy our closing song, I Lived, by One Voice Children's Choir.
That jump, you don't fear the fall. Hope when the water rises, you build a wall. Hope when the crowd screams out, it's screaming your name. Hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay. When the moment comes, you say, I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could get it. I saw so many places, the things that I did it. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. Hope that you spend your days, but they all add up. Woo! And when that sun goes down, hope you raise your cup. Oh, I wish that I could witness all your pain. But until my moment comes, I'll say I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. I swear I lived. Every broken bone, I swear I lived. Every broken bone, I swear I lived. Every broken bone, with every broken bone, with every broken bone, with every broken bone, I did it all. I did it all. I owned
Our benediction for the remainder of this month. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Glory, hallelujah. Amen.